All right, and we're rolling. It's super cold out there. It's February in Calgary, and we literally just had a bunch of snow hit us. And a couple of days back, it was like not cold at all. So Kass and I are like bundled up right now. The studio here is pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's just in my garage, so we have some heaters going, but it doesn't work all the way.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
definitely above freezing.
Yeah,
but not comfortable.
I think it's the coldest podcast episode I've shot so far. But anyway, I brought Kass on specifically because we both watched Antman, and we're going to do a movie review today and tell people what we think about it. Spoilers, okay? Spoilers. So if you haven't seen Antman, Quantum Realm is the movie called again?
Quantum Mania,
sorry. The new Marvel movie, then you may as well watch this podcast anyway.
Or watch it after.
Yeah,
and see what our opinions are. You can weigh it against your own opinions, and I don't know, we can figure it out from there. But I liked it.
Well, because the thing nowadays is like when I go to a movie now, the way I see it is like you want to go to a movie for something like a big Marvel movie, right? Because like
it's a fucking event. They're fucking $25 a ticket. Like it's before, let's say, like remember way back in the day, you can go to a movie. It could be on a Tuesday, and Tuesdays are like half off. It was like $5 for the ticket for a movie, and then you spent like $10 on popcorn, and you were good, and you're in.
Yeah.
Right now, like we went there for two of us. Now we went to 3D. Okay, but that was $40 for the two tickets, and then we got popcorn and drinks, and that was another $25. So $65 $65 all in. Just to go see this one movie, right? And not to mention we went to have drinks and somewhere else before. So it turns into this whole event. So I mean, you want to go for those bigger movies. You don't want to. I'm not going to go there to go see Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I'll watch that one at home.
Exactly. It'll be on stream soon. It'll be great. And
I mean, I still miss going to the theater. I mean, like it's fun. People are around you. Well, when I went, there wasn't like loads of people sitting with us, but. It's still, you draw off other people's energy. I mean, I still love the theaters. I hope it never goes extinct. I think there's a place for it, especially for like high action movies or like science fiction, like some of the great special effects. I still recommend making a night of it. Go to the theater, man.
Well, did you see Endgame in the theater?
Yeah. Yes, I saw Avengers. Yeah. Endgame, Infinity War. Yeah, saw.
Yeah, and so I went when Marvel movies, I like to go in the opening weekend to stop spoilers ahead. So I like to do that just to kind of avoid it. I mean, I like them. I enjoy being surprised. Like, and just like you were saying with that example, like just the energy in the room. Mm-hmm. When Captain America got that hammer, right, the whole theater erupted. Yeah. Like, and you kind of piggyback off that energy, and it feels like, holy shit, yeah, this is awesome, woo, go, right? And then like it sounds trivial now when we talk about it, but I mean like when you're in that moment, no way. Yeah, like man. everyone's into it. People that share the love for those movies too, that they're there too, and that's why it's so epic.
That and like horror movies, I think, are still worth going to theater, but movies like dramas and stuff, maybe that's just leave it at home, and then so you can sit there and think about it. But agreed. Anyway, let's dive into it. First of all, what did you think? Did you like it? Do you think it was bad? I mean, the reviews out there aren't great, but what do you think?
So I think that's just critic reviews, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at audience score, that's generally what I look at for Rotten Tomatoes. But I think they went down though. I think they're only in the 77 or something. I don't know off the top of my head, but the critic score is really low. It says that
40%, I think, right?
Yeah, that Thor and Eternals, Thor 4. Are the lowest rated movies, Marvel movies, and it's very surprising to me. Thor 4, I didn't really like it. Eternals, I'm not sold on it. But Antman, no way. It was funny. It had lots of funny moments. Paul Rudd is hilarious. It had great action scenes. It had like trippy effects. Like holy crap, you have to go see that one in 3D because you're constantly in the quantum realm, and things are just like they're just weird.
Okay, so just to clarify my understandings again, first of all, this plot, is this a new one written by Marvel, or is it based on a comic book arc that's already been around?
I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that one. I imagine there's a comic book that they based it off of. They usually do. I think that they're also trying to, keep to their own narrative for all their movies, right? So what makes sense? How do we bring Kang the Conqueror in? Mm-hmm. maybe he's been like, if he's out of time, well, they went to the quantum realm in Endgame and got out of the quantum realm to go back in time, right? Because that's how they did time travel. They went back in and out at another point.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna nod my head because, like I didn't fully grasp all the intricate details. I mean, but Marvel movies are those kind of movies I'll watch again and again and again, right?
Sure.
So, but from what I understand, okay, so just refresh my memory on how come Thanos doesn't know about the quantum realm again? Like, because that the quantum realm is completely, like you're becoming so subatomic, so small that you basically are out of reality. Is that the best way to put it? Like I'm trying to understand.
You're out of time, not necessarily reality. Like you're out of what we perceive as time is this one line, but the quantum realm is outside of it because it's not ever flowing. So a lot of things didn't make sense if you think about the Antman movie, like how long they were down there for. Yeah. But in the Endgame, Antman was only there for 5 hours, and it turned out to be 5 years.
Right, but right? Again, that quantum realm, was that the same quantum realm in this one?
No, it wasn't as deep
because this one's even more subatomic. They realize now there's layers and layers of quantum realms.
That's right.
Is it
so
infinite?
Maybe I don't think so. I think they hit the spot where it actually was a living universe.
Okay, so who are those other organisms then in there? Like, I mean, that was something I was kind of
just other life.
Okay, so the quantum realm just has other life in there, and that's what
more different states of evolution, and that's why even Michael Douglas's character Hank Pym was talking about like this totally changes what evolution actually is, and it probably is because you know what, there's no science for the quantum realm. They're all different, and that's why they use quantum in every word. Oh, hey, quantum healing, quantum this, quantum that. Like, there's no real science that would make sense. But you know, Kang, who is from the future, say 400 years, I think, in the future for mankind, he's a human, but they made the Citadel of Kang, and then he got kicked out, and then he got kicked to the quantum realm.
By other Kangs, right?
By other Kangs, yeah.
Because this is picking up where Loki left off. You guys, well, honestly, this podcast is more tailored to everyone who's been watching the Marvel movies. Yeah, because if you don't, you're gonna be like, "What are these guys talking about?" And rightfully so. You're not gonna know what we're talking about. But Kass and I love that shit, and we both saw it, and we're like, "Let's talk about it, man."
Yeah, and it's so fresh, right? Mm-hmm. And Kang is, a compelling villain enough, and I like it that he's going to be the next big Thanos. It's not going to be just like 2 movies with Thanos with the odd blip. Like, I think they're going to be really building Kang the Conqueror's character throughout a whole bunch of movies. That it's really going to be a little bit more impactful. What's
Marvel's game plan right now? Is it another, like, every movie's gearing towards like a mega super storyline with Kang, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Is it another 5-year plan or whatever?
Yeah, so that's all in phase 6. So they usually go in phases. So phase 1 ended with Avengers 1. Phase 2 ended with Avengers 2. Phase 3 ended with it was supposed to be Endgame, but it actually ended with Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
That was like the epilogue to the whole Infinity Saga. Mm. It was like the fallout of everyone coming back and Iron Man being dead.
Right. And Captain America being dead.
And gone. Getting but Iron Man dying was more impactful for Spider-Man. So it was like that was like the fallout. It was an epilogue to any kind of writing a story from beginning to finish. You write the epilogue at the end, like, oh, hey, this is how everyone is now. Mm-hmm. And here's the Spider-Man movie to boot. Then phase 4 started off with WandaVision, and then it kind of got jumbled around with COVID and everything else. But basically, phase 4 ended with Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
And then phase 5. So now it's going to phase 5, starting with Quantumania.
Okay. And all of phase 5 is Kang is the centerpiece of
it'll be like his buildup. Mm. And then phase 6, there's going to be 2 Avengers movies in it. One's called Kang's Dynasty. That's Avengers 5. And then Avengers 6 is Avengers Secret Wars.
So who's in the Avengers now? Like isn't Captain America now? No. He got replaced. Falcon's Captain America now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then like who else is on the team now? I mean,
I think the team is just joined it, but they just call it like an Avengers movie because it's the brand.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have everybody in it. Spider-Man. I know Tom Holland just signed on for 3 more movies, so he's gonna keep going. Doctor Strange is going to be there. He signed on. Chris Hemsworth's not going anywhere. Chris Evans is out. There's rumors of Robert Downey coming back as a variant of Iron Man. I don't know. There's a few things, but they say actually he's going to come back in the Secret Wars, or not Secret Wars. Sorry, Secret Invasion. That's a TV show coming out with Nick Fury, and it's about the Skrulls because they like invade Earth by morphing into anybody, and they start to like get into political standpoints. Like one morphs into the president, and actually can start swaying things and how they're. So it's a huge invasion and a huge problem that Nick Fury is going to come back for.
Okay, but this is again, this is another universe though.
No, this is
canon universe.
Yeah. This is where Nick Fury's been doing. He's been trying to defeat the Skrulls.
But then the Iron Man variant, like he's from a different.
But he'd be from a different one, yeah. So I'm not like they say he's going to be in it. So I don't know. Maybe, hey, at the end of Loki, and I know it's kind of everywhere right now, but the end of Loki, basically there was a version of Kang. The end of the thing. At the end of it, he was called He Who Remains. Loki's variant, Sylvie, stabbed him and killed him, and ever since then, all the main timeline was in one line, and now it's all branched off into many different lines.
Right.
And it kind of triggered the, No Way Home, and it triggered Doctor Strange's thing. So it all kind of started branching off. And then now all these other Kangs are trying to control this big multiverse. And then Kang the Conqueror, which we saw in Quantum Realm, is the one trying to destroy and create incursions to destroy every universe because he only wants one to exist.
Okay, so he's trying to kill every version of himself so that he's the main.
Yeah.
Only. Okay,
he wants to win.
So he conquered or whatever. But he's dead now, right?
No, I doubt it.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I know, like he looked like he shrank even further.
Okay, because in the last scene they threw all those pim
Just pins
or whatever.
Yeah, pin pins.
Pins. No, but there's like 5 of them. Like, so normally you just need one. So he grabbed a handful, and like, so it's like, if you said that was the last quantum realms, but they sent him into even like further quantum realm, right? Like,
I'm sure there's going to be a science to explain it because they put the pins on that quantum engine thing, like the plot device of the whole movie, right? That he needs a quantum engine to make his thing to go, right? But it allows him to travel through multiverses in his ship, right? Mm-hmm. So they put it to that, and then he shrunk into that. So you never know. You could just go into somewhere on the timeline. Like, I don't know. If it could travel through other multiverses, maybe he could still use it. Right? And he's beyond genius level. Like, there's Tony and Thanos, and then there's Reed Richards, and then there's Kang. Like, he's just a different kind of genius.
And he's also 400 years in the future. Who knows what humans are actually like?
And related to Reed Richards.
That's right.
He's Reed Richards' descendant.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I was about to make a pretty inappropriate joke there.
I know what you're going to say.
I caught myself. So. You don't know what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Anyway, hey, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, like, I was talking about one buddy, and he hates Marvel movies. So he's just sitting there like just ripping it apart. But I'm sitting there, I'm just like, just your imagination is like the Antman imagination, like that entire storyline is so grandiose. I'm like it's
for
like,
a small guy.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what just captivated me, because like these scientific theories also just gets my mind and my wondering, if you will, just fully engaged. Because what if we're a quantum realm? Like, you know what I mean? What if our universe is a quantum realm? You remember Men in Black?
Yeah.
Remember that last scene where it shows a marble, and then it's
on the cat's on the cat's collar.
Yeah, and it turns out within that there's like 20 universes, and then you keep going, and then it's just a marble where an alien kid was kicking it in an alien playground, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how do we fucking know, right? I mean, take a look at like the way ants actually live in their little colonies in real life, and they have no concept of what we're doing. They probably just look up and they just see like giant fucking humans, but they don't realize like they're part of a small ecosystem that is so like small compared to us, and then we are, like we're just like this small group within a city that's out of a province, out of a country. Like, when you keep scaling it up, it just blows my mind, and I'm like, who are we to not know if all of this is not a quantum realm?
We really don't. Like, isn't that kind of funny how they're written as like Antman? But like, it's just the way you described, like, ants live in this little colony and have this, and then like that's what Antman actually is. He discovers other universes within the universes, and like he can kind of penetrate each one, right? Like he can get to those smaller ones. He can work with ants and understand them, and
I also just like love Paul Rudd as an actor, and I also just like I just enjoy his character as well, because his character is just he's like you know they many critics have talked about this already, but his character is your everyday guy, you know, and that's what I get like, you know, I love stories where just everyday guys kind of like step it up to you know to get themselves out of like a crazy situation, you know, because it activates my whatever you call it, motivations to like I get inspired. That's the word I'm looking for, to like just kick some ass and stuff in life. Like that's what I get out of these movies. And then the special effects are crazy, and then just me thinking again like Kang, I just love that the actor and the character. I mean, he's like just his powers and just his whole entire shtick too. I'm like, yeah, like this is such a like just again, just like Thanos, I can't entirely say if Kang is like he's evil. He is evil. He's a bad guy. But imagine if you were Kang. Like you're so smart that you mastered time travel, like alternate universes. Like, you know, like why do you? This sounds bad, but at that level, wouldn't you be like thinking killing someone's no big deal? Because people are like an ant to you at that point. You're just so ahead of everything, right? You know, like, and if that's the case, then, you know, like wiping out timelines as he was doing or whatever, like it's like that's almost like beneath him in a way. Like,
well, that's why it gets all melded with him, right? Because what do you say to Antman is like, "You're an Avenger? Have I killed you before?" Right? Like he just looked at him
but he knew his name after, so he was obviously fucking being condescending or whatever.
Or showing his grandiose and showing his omniscience, because he's outside of time. Right? He doesn't really necessarily ever exist in time, because he can go to any other timeline wherever, and they're just different realities. So it doesn't matter what timeline you go to; it's just a different reality to him.
Yeah,
time's not the same as like a linear thing. It's not linear, right? Think about this in Endgame. You know, whenever they went back to 2012 to go grab the 3 stones in, and they joined that final battle out of the end of Avengers, right?
Yeah,
that actually never happened in their timeline, because that's not their future.
Yeah,
their future is this, but they just basically just jump to another reality. That's their time. They're jumping to another reality, taking those realities, Infinity Stones, and going back to their own, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're just going to different realities is all it is. It's never, oh, I'm going back in time. They just jump out at a certain point in different reality.
Creating an entire different reality.
That's all they did.
Move. Yeah. So there's no truly, based on that concept, like it makes sense because they simplified it for the layman to understand. But,
sure they did.
But when you really think about it, you're right. Like in every concept of time traveling movies, it never made sense.
What does Paul Rudd say? Like, so Back to the Future was just a bunch of bullshit?
Yeah, quite literally. And like when you think of it explained like that, it's like, oh, like that's fucking true. Like
you can't go back and kill Hitler.
No,
it's not going to change that.
It won't change that timeline. It creates another one.
It creates another one.
But then what happens to the other one? Like does it?
You're just gone.
It just wipes out, kind of.
No. Like in the one you just came from.
Like if you went back in time and you create another timeline, back in time and create another timeline, and say you went and you got rid of every human caveman, so there's no Homo sapiens, right? Like then in that timeline going forward, there's no humans. But what about the other timeline that you traveled out of? Like that one just continues to go, and you just are out of that.
You're just gone from it. Yeah,
you're just gone from that timeline.
Yeah,
like,
it still goes. It just goes without you. But if you come back and return at the same moment, because you can. That's how the time traveling works. Like you can return at the same moment you left.
Yeah, just not before.
Just not before, because if you do before, then you're changing the timeline. You're changing the branches.
Right. If you go back to exactly the same point you left, then you're just continuing that.
Yeah,
timeline.
And in that 5 seconds, nothing really changed. That's why they say, like, even when Captain America was going to go back, hey, for us, it's going to look like 5 seconds. He can take all the time he wants to return the stones. But for us, it's going to be like 5 seconds. Then he blew past that, and then he lived his life or whatever. That's why nothing ever changes in that 5 seconds. And Loki, whenever that person was hiding from them, she would go into spots where the world was about to end. So her being there, whatever she does, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It won't create a variant timeline.
Right.
So that's how it all works. So it's just about jumping to realities at different points of their own time. So it's not. I want to say it's not time travel, but it is. It's just their version of doing it.
Yeah. Well, the word has been so associated with the linear time travel theory that like, but you're right. They need to come up with a different explanation. But I think
it's like reality jumping, world jumping.
I want to like listen to what physicists have to say or something about this, because it always made like when the Marvel movies summarized it, I was like that. It's literally like you rediscover 1 + 1 = 2 or something. You're like, why did we ever think it was the other way? And like, like it was like when you think about it, like, well, duh, like, no, like no shit, like, like of course that's the way it is. But right now it seems like every major superhero genre is like gearing towards some kind of timeline, alternate universe, reality thing. Because like, look at Flashpoint. That's literally just.
But Flashpoint, though, I think the way their time works is like that.
They're going off the incorrect conception,
like the Back to the Future type thing. Like they're like if Flashpoint, if Barry goes back, saves his mom, goes back to his time, his mom's saved, right? He doesn't actually have his powers anymore because without his mom dying, he would never have.
But that's an alternate timeline, right?
Right, but he could never go back. But he only exists on the one timeline, so it's an alternate timeline to what he was already existing to. Like. It's alternate from his future. So it's so different with the Flash because it's like he goes back to that timeline. Like he goes back to his time. So he goes back to 2023 and he went back to 2010 to save his mom. Runs back to 2022 or 2023. Okay, his mom is alive, but all the effects happen and he's the only one with the memory of his previous 2022. No one else is because he's the only one outside of time. So he would remember, but then like in the movie, he kind of starts getting like memory flashes. So like the times emerge in his head. So then he starts to get those memories. Eventually, at some point, he'll forget about his entire reality in general. So he jumps reality, sure, but he goes his reality when he's the Flash, saves his mom, goes back. He's not the Flash anymore. And then everyone knows that the Flash doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So it is more linear with DC. It is more straight.
Okay, but which one is accurate with depictions of like the way they explain it in Marvel now? And again, like I would like to hear a physicist have the ability to explain to a layman, like dumb like me, but because like now I almost can't watch those movies if they have any concept of time and they're going off the classic linear Back to the Future style explanation, because I'm like, well, that's just not right. Like that that's literally that's like we now know that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, how can we this doesn't, like, we got to turn the movie off entirely, like, or just watch it for whatever goofy, like,
I think at the end of the day, they're just movies. It's not real.
But they have so much impact on us. Totally. You know what I mean? Like, like movies. I mean, it's just kind of like why some people, like, when Star Wars came out back in the day, Star Wars became their religion. Like it legitimately became like their worldview, right? They base everything off of Star Wars to like to further their understandings. And I mean, like, because human beings, like, is majority of us, we're very story driven. Like that's how we like understand things, and learn and whatnot. But anyway, I liked it a lot. I don't care what the critics say. I love that grandiose super storyline. I don't know. I literally say go see it. It just again, like Kass said, it's just a movie, but there's so much of the things you could draw from it, so. But
I think the critics too are bashing it. So the audience likes it. The critics are bashing it because it's not hitting all the markers, right? You got to hit all the markers nowadays. Like even the Oscars, you have to have, X amount of people of color, and you have to have LGBTQ in it. You have to go all these different, wokish ways to make him. So it's not about the movie and the story anymore. It's about who you're representing and who's representing, or what representations in the movie. That's all that matters. And then the story, it's not about that, right? So that's why, when you have to follow this criteria, you start to not necessarily degrade, but you start to veer off from what the story of what you wanted to tell.
Because you have so much you have to pack in that's not even part of what you're trying to do originally.
Because who you have sex with doesn't matter to the grand story, but then you have to throw it in anyways. Like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, if you're part of the LGBT community or you're not part of the LGBT community, like, what does it matter what you do for that story? And I understand representation is important, but if it doesn't help the story, I just don't see all the points in it sometimes,
Yeah. No, I get exactly what you're saying, but right now it seems like Marvel is fully committed to integrating that inclusivity,
which is good.
Like no one's hating on that,
God, no. I'm all for it. I just if you're sacrificing story for it, that's where it's like, okay, well, there was no point to that other than doing the representation. Like, why don't you just, I hate to say it, but I'm not a writer, so I don't know, but like write it better, I guess, make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, they definitely have their criteria now, like it's almost like, hey, that's a great storyline you pitched me there, Jim, but you better, is this all checked? Like, this isn't checked, we don't even proceed. Like, that's just step one, because the movie's a movie, but the audience will invigorate themselves to like the colored people watching will feel more hopeful. And it's true. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I watched Shang-Chi, I got a bit like some Asian pride all of a sudden. I was just like, even though nothing happened, I love that movie. Yeah, I love Shang-Chi. And like, I was just watching it, I was sitting there just like, you know what, this did work. Like, like this plot, like, yes, it's a blatant light shining on the Asian community, but it had its effect on me. And at the end of the day, if a movie's gonna be complete science fiction, then at least people should be able to get something out of it, other than, if it's just some inspiration, then that's more beneficial than, I guess, to the plot, to like the super nerds. But
exactly. But like that, like all of it made sense to the movie.
Yeah,
it made sense to the movie.
Yeah,
and Wakanda Forever makes sense to the movie, right? Like, you're in Africa, you're like, all these make sense. Yeah, it's just, when they're forcing it, it comes to a point where it doesn't make sense. Or like saying that all men are stupid, like in She-Hulk, like every single man is dumb.
Is that how that show?
And you know what? Like, fine, but like that doesn't help the story. Mm-hmm. And it's not progressing it, and it's about characters and comic book stories.
Yeah,
right. And everyone should feel represented, and I'm totally for it. I just, when you're sacrificing that, you're not. Of course, the critics are going to bash it. That's why they bashed it. Eternals. Well, that was just boring. It's just boring.
I liked Eternals, and I had to watch it again because I went to that one with you, and I fell asleep. But but I was also just super tired, and but again, like the Eternals is a. I mean, like, again, that storyline is so crazy and grandiose. I mean,
it's big.
The fact that the Earth all along was actually a sentient, like, being birthed. You know what I mean? Like that, like the plot wasn't that what was happening? It was like they're birthing out like the super.
Well, that's what the other theory too is, like, that Thanos knew about them.
And why didn't he?
That's why he wanted to eliminate half the universe, to stop them from, because they only emerge out of planets when they're getting overpopulated. Right. So he's like, half gone. They ain't coming.
Okay, and Thanos couldn't read the quantum realm again because it's just so small. It's just so small that he can't.
It's outside of his. It's outside the universe. It's a whole universe by itself.
But he has a time stone and a reality stone. Wouldn't that have?
Yeah, but he's not. But he's not he just snapped for his universe. He didn't snap for the quantum realms universe.
You're right. He wasn't mixing universes. That's right. I keep okay.
Even though he only briefly touched the quantum realm, he only briefly touched it to time travel in the end game, because he went back in time, or went forward. He went forward in time. He went to the future.
Ooh, Thanos did? Wait.
Yep.
Okay,
because Thanos died after Infinity War, the beginning of Endgame. They went and hunted down Thanos on this planet.
Yeah.
And Thor chopped his head off.
Yeah.
So Thanos was dead. The Infinity Stones are dead in their reality.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the Avengers went back in time, grabbed Infinity Stones from another time, came back to theirs, snapped their fingers, brought everyone back. Mm-hmm. But in that time, Nebula had like some internet connection with the other Nebula.
Right.
And so then Thanos like sat there and studied for 12 hours, or I don't know how long, on everything that happened. He studied there and sat there.
Right.
He studied everything what happened, how he even died, because Nebula even being on Titan, Thanos would have saw the fight he had with Doctor Strange and everyone else, because Nebula was there. So he saw everything. And here's some really cool stuff about Endgame. That's why it's such a brilliant movie. If you watch the fight scenes with Thanos and Captain America, even when he's fighting him, Mjolnir's like Captain America swinging Mjolnir and hitting Thanos, but Thanos won't stop the hammer ever. He'll stop his wrists because he can't stop the hammer. He can't hold it. So he'll actually grab his wrists in every single fight scene. So he's he studied his techniques to a point where like, oh, Mjolnir, okay, you have to be worthy. You can't just friggin' hold it. Okay, well, then in my fight scene, so like, I'm serious, like, even freeze frame it. He just does it. He like stops his wrist and hits him in the body, and he only does body shots. He stays when the hammer hits him. That's fine, but he gets back and recovers because he has a lot of endurance.
Right.
But it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So Thanos sat there and studied, and then he went, and he has scientists on his ship and his empire. So he got those Pym particles from Nebula, and they copied it and then took it to the future.
Okay, I have to rewatch Endgame again. Just when I
It's
thought,
amazing.
But I've seen it many times. It's just again, these plots are very intricate and grandiose, and like, I'm a nerd, but you're like, you're way more nerdy than me.
I did watch this 2 days ago.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But basically, they never gave the pin particles. She stole it from the ship because they captured her on Magus or whatever where the Power Stone was, and they captured the future nebula, and then they stole the pin particles, and then they replicated it on their ship.
Hey, so what's going on then with Guardians 3? Like, Gamora, she's back again. Like
that's the Gamora from
the Snap. Is that
Endgame?
No, but she got killed in the Red Skull world, right?
So that one's dead.
Yeah,
dead.
Yeah.
Okay, can't come back.
Yeah.
But the one from the past, 2014, because remember they went to 2014 to get the Power Stone and the Soul Stone. Okay, that Gamora was still serving Thanos. She turned good in Endgame, so she doesn't have any memory of any Guardians or nothing.
Okay.
So then they went to the future because Thanos went to the future with Gamora, and then they were Gamora was fighting, but then she actually betrayed Thanos in Endgame. So this is like a past Gamora before she met Star-Lord.
I need a chalkboard and
I don't know what else to say. It's a future Gamora. It's the past Gamora.
Okay.
It's the one from when they went back in time. She came to the future with Thanos because Thanos brought an entire army to the future.
Right.
In his ship.
Okay.
Including Gamora.
So like this coming up Guardians 3, like you can't like Star-Lord, the fact that he's still hung up on her.
Yeah, she's not hung up on him
because that's not the same person.
But he loves her.
Wait, just like, but that kind of makes no sense to me because I'm like, that's not the same person. Yeah, does that mean you only love the way she looked the whole time? Like, is that really what's going on here? Like,
but she's pretty close to that person, right?
Well, she is that person.
But that's in 2014. So that was right before she betrayed Thanos in 2014 in Guardians 1. That was like right before it. So she already had second thoughts about Thanos anyways. She was going to betray him and go with Star-Lord then. So she's like right in that cusp of Guardians 1. That's that Gamora essentially there. So she's like, she doesn't like Thanos, but she's like, oh, I have my sister back now. And this is the guy I chose. Like, he's kind of an idiot. But then, Star-Lord has that weird charm about him that he'll eventually get you.
Yeah. Like, wow. I guess.
Well, he did it. They were a couple in Infinity War.
That's true.
And that was them like years and years of, whatever they do.
Camaraderie and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is going to be the last Guardians, right?
Like, with this crew.
Yeah, because Batista, I know the actor, he's done, I think, with the MCU. And then Chris Pratt, I don't know, unless or is he going to keep going?
I don't know.
With Star-Lord.
I don't know. I think he dies.
Yeah,
I think he's going to die. I think him and Rocket are going to die.
I
think it's gonna be a tearjerker. This one's gonna hurt.
Okay.
Because James Gunn is so fucking good.
Oh,
yeah. Like, I don't know. Here's a tearjerker for Guardians too.
Yeah, like
when
James Gunn did all the Guardians, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now he's taking over all the DC movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
So good.
Yeah, that's a funny John Cena. Fuck.
And the new Suicide Squad he did.
Okay. Yeah, that was all James Gunn. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you think the new DC movies will have like that Guardians feel then because it's James Gunn? I think how could it not, right? If that's his directing style, then
I think they're going to be true to what they are.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to be doing any more gimmicks or anything. I think they're going to be, clever story writing. I think it's going to be different types and takes on the characters because like James Gunn's really specialized at like making like a E-list superhero good. You know what I mean? Like he made Guardians.
True. Like I'm a nerd, but like I didn't care about Guardians until the first one came out. Even that, I was kind of like,
you saw it more than twice in theaters.
I know.
I caught you one time.
I know. But like I'm saying, but leading up to that, I didn't have an interest in the Guardians of the Galaxy. But then James Gunn just kind of made it relatable to your everyday guy. Yeah. Made Chris Pratt I just love Chris Pratt. I mean,
yeah, he's great.
Wow. My fiance hates him, but
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, it's just because Chris Pratt's so blatantly right wing or whatever.
Yeah, he's pretty right.
He's quite the exception to the Hollywood machine because he's the only one who's not like all in that the left wing political realm.
No, he kind of stays away from that. I mean, he doesn't stay out of politics.
He's right wing as hell.
Yeah.
And he's all about the Bible and everything. Like to to, you know, and
when he accepts awards, God is there for you. God is everything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you believe what you want to believe. I am just do you. Like that's all I care about. Just do you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. You know, it's just like we just agreed to do a quick little movie review session for today. We both have things going on this evening, but in the bar update right now, for everyone's been following the Instagram and the behind the scenes of the construction. Realistically, the construction needs more time. Unfortunately, it needs more time.
It's making progress every day, and we'll keep you guys updated. And when we're there, when we're closer, we'll send out invites. We'll make sure we see you guys down there, and we'll let you know when we're there. Mm-hmm. So go for now though. Go check out the Instagram page. Keep following us here. Subscribe. Listen to shows. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you think. Comments. There's always ways we can improve. So criticism in the bad or good way is always good. So.
Only write good things in the comments, please.
Yeah. Our egos we can't take it. Okay. I'll cry in the shower.
I'll put all our Instagram information again in the show notes so you guys can stay up to date and on everything. Okay, guys. So in conclusion, Antman was good.
Antman's great.
Antman's great.
Yeah,
Antman Quantum Realm's great.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't like it, I say get yourself an imagination again, please. All right. Okay. And all right. Have a great night, everyone. Okay. Take care.
Thank you.